I can remember growing up hanging posters on my wall, magazine clippings of some of the stars of the sport at that time. The people that I just looked at the wall at and said, I wish I could at least compete in BMX bicycles. I wish I could someday meet those stars. Well, later on in life, I eventually started racing and eventually turned professional and ended up sitting on the gate beside those very stars that hung on my wall on the posters. I befriended many of them, and now I've been blessed. I've been blessed to have my own show, a show that will spotlight those very BMX athletes that once hung on my wall. Hear their stories of struggle, overcoming, the good times and the bad times, their stories of victory, and not giving up. These are the stories that have made them the legends that they are, and worthy of schooling all of us on my show, Hurricane Maine's BMX Legends Class 2.0. Let's get it. Hey, welcome to another great episode of Hurricane Maine's BMX Legends 2.0. And just like I promised you in all of the promotions, you know, we always promising great legends on the show, you know, not just the athletes, but the people behind the scenes that have made the events possible in the sport of BMX, a sport that I've loved for just about my whole life. And this show right here is not lacking any luster, people. That's right, because I got a special guest on the show, a person that back in the day when I was a little bitty tyke, I was reading about this brother in the magazines and everything. I mean, he raced some of the legends of the sports that many of you kids don't even know about. So that's why this show is right here now to teach you some history of the great sport you love. And with no further ado, though, I want to introduce Bernard Gant. Bernard, say what's up to the listeners.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
I said Bernard Gant, but it's like Bernard Gant, a.k.a. B.J. Gant. That's right. From Florida.
Yeah.
That's
all my
right.
old school friends know me from that name.
Oh, do they? I bet, man. I bet. How you been?
I've been doing better, man. Had some health issues. And blood pressure, you know, high blood pressure runs high in our family. And I let it catch up to me a little bit, and trying to get a check on it right now. Things are going better now. BP is normal for the first time probably in my life. And down 10 pounds. I've been riding for the last 5 to 6 weeks, working at the Sarasota BMX Academy here in Florida.
You know what? And, you know what? You talk about the high blood pressure and just getting back into riding and everything. You know, I'm sitting there thinking about that because I don't want to let you go too far because I want to touch on those two things a little bit because the high blood pressure for one thing. And by the way, I did see that funny post you put on Facebook when you said you got tired from just walking up to the track.
Man, I am not joking either, man. Not joking. Going in it's like a little ramp, right? You go up 1, 2, 3 ramps, and then you on the first level. And man, let me tell you, legs were burning, the lactic acid was going. And I was like, dang, I ain't even hit the track yet.
you got spaghetti legs walking up to the staging area there.
Man, spaghetti legs, hyperventilating. But then when I got to the top, man, it was like, okay, showtime. Even though it wasn't showtime, but I was the biggest squirrel.
You know what, though? The biggest step is that you got back out there. You got back out there because I've had many times through my 30 years of being involved with BMX, I've had many times where I stop for a while, then I go back and wonder if I still got it or just feel the urge again. You know, so It's a good thing that you got up and went out there because I had issues with my blood pressure at one time when I was not racing. But then, and I had aches and pains in my body and everything. Once I started back racing and training, those joints started loosening up and my blood pressure got perfect, you know, just from that. You know,
Yeah.
so in your face to all those people that say you still riding them bikes.
Every day. My aunt Kathy in North Carolina, man, she'll get on the social media and she'll be like, "You need to get off that bike, boy."
That's how they do.
And I try
That's right.
I try to keep it from my mom too.
Right.
So I just don't tell her, so she don't get word, or I don't get any flack or nothing like that. And that's how I started out. Actually, my mom didn't want me to race. Yeah.
Really? What? So you were just being rebellious and got into it?
Well, you know how it is. You know, being a little kid, you know, you go to the 7-Eleven, open up the magazines, you start reading them. Some of them you buy, some of them you just sit there and read.
Yeah, and for hours sometimes.
Yeah, and the people chase you out the store sometimes. You
you read the whole magazine. I don't want that magazine anyway. I just finished.
And what was crazy was I used to just look and go, like, man, there's some nice bikes in there, and man, who's the black dude? You know, and the black dude I'm talking about was LaJuan Cunningham. And
You know,
I remember him. Yeah. And, you know, I used to see other people like Robert Swig, Brian Lopes. You know, these are all the cats that are like, they should be my age right now, because I would always imagine like, oh, I wonder what I would do against those kind of guys. You know, and I had no BMX skills at all, man. But I was just dreaming like that, you know, like, you know how you would, you know, you want something and you think about it, you dream about it.
You know what I think that is? I think that we all have an inner purpose within us, and in order to get us in the direction of that purpose, we start feeling urges that draw us towards things. Because when I was little, I had similar stuff to you too. I would just always be drawn towards motocross and things like that. It was just always so cool to me. The magazines, I would even have dreams about racing and stuff. So I used to
do that on the summer tours, or anytime we was driving to a race. I used to dream about like hitting the gate, getting up and still winning. You know, just kind of crazy dreams like that. You know.
Yeah.
And I never made that come true either.
You know what though?
Once you hit the gate, you behind people, you stay there.
Yeah, that's right. It's a wrap. Like, been so many times I'll play all that Rocky music and all that at home and on the way to the races and just rah, 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 you be all tough and ready to go. And then you go out there and the agony of defeat. Back to the drawing board.
You see who's in your moto and you be like, oh man.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that. What were you gonna say? Go ahead. Or what now?
I was gonna say, like, or you see some big ass jump that you got to do it, even though you're scared, but everybody else doing it, so you got to go ahead and just shake that and get it. And that's what I used to be worried about sometimes, man.
Really. So we got something in common, because I remember those Saturday mornings of the race. Actually, like, you get there on Friday and then you see the track and then you look over there first thing. Then you wonder, is there a pro section here? Because this is the day before internet, because you couldn't study. Like, after internet came in and I was racing, I could study the track before I even go. When I was racing Masters. But back in the day, you get there and you start looking, then you see this pro section, and you be like, oh God, I gotta jump that. I gotta. So
you know what I used to do? I used to do that same thing, but I also used to do the thing where, you know, I call it guinea pigging. So if you know that you can have the same speed or be as smooth as the next dude, I would always go with them, and then, like, if they were going to hit it in practice, then I would make sure I try to hit it in practice so I can get the nerves out and everything, you know, before the race.
So that was a way to do it. Yeah. A lot of times, nobody wanted to guinea pig me and follow me because I was so known for blowing up. I may call it massive carnage.
We all had our share of blowing up over some kind of jump. I mean, heck, I broke my neck doing that mess too.
Wow. You know, that's right. I remember that. I remember hearing about that. You know,
that was back over in Memphis. That was the year they had the Grand Nationals at Memphis, Tennessee, inside I think like a livestock arena or something like that.
Right. I remember that. And was that the last time you really raced?
Pretty much. I've done maybe a few races since then. I don't think I was on any teams or anything like that. I was just grateful to just be able to ride after that, the main accident. So, and by that time, what's that?
By that time, what now?
Oh, by that time, I still had a few more things that I was going to try to get, but I guess God had another plan for me because it didn't happen. It didn't happen what I was trying to do.
Right. We just never know where our journey is going to take us anyway, though, because I never knew that I would be doing radio. I never thought that the motivation and the books that I had to read when I was racing BMX would turn me into a motivational speaker. But it has.
Nice.
It's evolved into that. So it's all about awareness and however you view your situation. And you can look at it as bad or you can look at it as a learning experience, Because now
every day is a learning experience. I'm finding out lately.
Amen. That's right. Yes, sir. And with that said, let's go ahead and go into a little quick break. Then we're gonna leave them hanging on that right there, and we're gonna come back where we left off at with more BJ Gant right here on Hurricane Maine's BMX Legends Class 2.0. Keep it locked.
Y'all want to see how to make the hood shake? Well, I'm gonna put a gospel twist to it. I'm pretty sure anybody can make the hood shake, right? I guess we'll see. I'ma show you how to make the hood shake. Get up on the track, woo, make it earthquake. Haha, clapping off on everybody. My song keep clapping off on everybody. I'ma show you how to make the hood shake. Get up on the track, woo, make it earthquake. Haha, clapping off on everybody. My song keep clapping off on everybody. You want a hood song? I made a gospel twist. Now everybody listen to it cause it is legit. Flow with a purpose, so they listen for a reason. Don't get stuck in that game cause it's all deceiving. The higher purpose? Yeah, that's the bigger meaning. You gotta switch it up to make a soul cleaning. If you don't listen, your heart won't have a reason. I gave you 25 through the rhyme scheme. God gave me a vision, and they see that. The devil's always lurking, I feel him on my back. No time to catch a lick, too busy stating facts. I'd rather smoke a beat and talk on that while I get high off life, not worry about the trap. I make the hood shake through a gospel rap. It's time to motivate, that's why the song clap. Hey yo, Jakes, I think we put the song on the map. I'ma show you how to make the hood shake. Get up on the track, woo, make it earthquake. Haha, clapping off on everybody. My song keep clapping off on everybody. I'ma show you how to make the hood shake. Get up on the track, woo, make it earthquake. Haha, clapping off on everybody. My song keep clapping off on everybody.
Hey, we're back with more BMX Legends Class 2.0, and we got BJ Gant on the phone. Let's go back to that interview right now. And you know what? I want to know, though, being down in the state of Florida in a sport, and we both know this, so there ain't no shame in saying it, a sport that's predominantly white, but being down in the Florida area, I mean, how the heck did you... what compelled you to go do it, or what did you have to put up with? Because I know you said you kind of defied your mom in a way and went out and did it. So who'd you have to get with to get involved in BMX?
It was some neighborhood friends. We lived on the same street, and he lived up the street from me. And he had a BMX bike. Like a real nice one, like a real BMX bike. I think he had a Mongoose Super Goose or something like that. With the anodized wheels, with the little circles around the rim.
Yeah,
and then you could get the different colors.
Okay.
So he had that kind of stuff. I had a bicycle from this auto parts store called Western Flyer or Western Auto.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember Western Auto.
So I had a bike. It was called what is it? The Western Flyer Moto Fox or something like that. It had the old school mag wheels, but with the little spider webs in it that like fell out.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That was my first bike.
Didn't Skyway or somebody have something like that back in the day? The mag? Somebody had that mag that was all cast iron. Yeah.
Yep. It was Skyway racing team was, I think, it was Skyway Racing. They had the Moto Mags 1 and 2 or something like that.
Yeah. So you had that big heavy bike right there. I'm sure.
Man, that thing was like a chopper. It didn't even have regular racing forks either. But I could wheel that thing forever back then.
Oh, really?
I could wheel it. Oh, yes, I could. And that was before racing. But
that's probably how you got respect from the other guys that were into riding. Was it something like that you could...
Well, we had moved from, I want to say, South Carolina to Florida, because my dad was in the Coast Guard, so we bounced around a little bit. And I remember, like, my first bike ever, it was like I think it was a girl's bike or something like that with a banana seat on it. And I remember getting that bike for Christmas the one year, the Western Flyer. I was happier than a pig in crap. So that was my first bike. I didn't know anything about BMX. And then every now and again, you see it on TV. And the friend that lived up the street, he said he knew where there was a track at, and he wanted to go out there too. So I just tagged it on with him out there. I never raced. I just watched him race because you know, just like every little kid, out there building ramps and stuff like that, jumping over garbage cans or whatever you could set up back there in the back. Well, for us, it was the back alley. But my very first race, and it was with the same friend. We went down to Bradenton, Florida, and that was a race I should not have gone to because my mom told me I couldn't go. But I don't know what happened to me, but I went anyways, and I lost every race. I got third every race. Yeah,
was that your first race?
Very first race, and I raced against this one guy, his brother. He's from St. Pete. And I think he used to ride for Thruster, but his name was Taff Womack. He was a light-skinned brother. He used to kill it. And and I didn't meet him till that night, of course, after he beat me a few times. But we did a sport called MPSA, National Pedal Sport Association, or something like that. And that was predominantly like the southeast of the U.S. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, maybe a little bit of Alabama. And
Gotcha.
I really didn't do that much of that. Because after just going to some like Friday night races and whatnot, I used to just travel with these other teams and, just pay for gas and hotel and stuff like that. And that's how the BMX thing is. We always network and get with people and carpool and do whatever we can to get to the races. Yeah. So after I got out of trouble for going to that one race and getting beat, I ended up just doing regular Friday night races and stuff, and and I was just winning. I was actually, I didn't win at first. I was getting like seconds, thirds, and everything else. But I kept going. You know what I'm saying? It was like, even though I was getting my crap beat out of me, I just kept going to the races, kept going, and eventually I would get like a second or a third. And this is in the MPSA sanctioned body, bicycle racing company.
Okay. Now, was it NBL or anything around at that time?
Oh yeah, NBL and ABA, they were the main ones in the magazines during that time. Okay. Like
so, what time are we? What are we talking about? Early '80s, right here.
The early to mid '80s, I would say.
Okay. Because what year did you start racing?
Let's see. wow, what year did I start? I think it was like 80 or 81. I think.
Wow, yeah. Wow.
Uh,
So it's back in the day. It's back, because I know it was some years before I started. I started in 88.
yeah.
Some years that I was reading about you in magazines and everything, you know.
I was going to say, I'd already been in it for a little bit by that time.
I know.
I
know.
87 was a good year for me.
Really? Would you consider that your breakout year when things really started happening?
I would probably say 86, 87 was the I had a few breakouts.
Oh yeah. Share some with us.
Okay, so I kept going to the races, you know, like I was saying before, and I was, you know, gradually getting better. And then I was on this one team, It was like a Florida-based team, and we were all pretty much from this area, St. Pete, Florida, and that's what Eagle Snacks came up. Yes, it was Bill Lazari. No, I'm not sure what his last name was, but he was a heavyset guy. He had a son that raced, and there was another guy, Smokey Moy, that I think he was in there too. But then the ultimate guy that was basically the team CEO, manager, coach was Mark Fowler, and he somehow had the business savvy to go out and petition for sponsorship. I mean, I've written to every bicycle company out there that you can imagine at that time. Robinson,
wow,
GHP, GT, SE, and I wish I would have saved the letters, but I had some rejection letters, but it was nice to get a response from any of them.
Yeah,
and
to see that anybody responded. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah,
and so we got sponsored, and we had a big team, man. We had about 15 to 20 people on the team, and we were family. And we stuck together, and we just kept getting better. We left NPSA, started NBL. We started going down to Sarasota at the time, and you know what, BJ, you know, that's a part right there at that time. I remember BMX was very big at this time. Oh,
just
man,
to let listeners know, you know, because it was huge, you know, and especially down in Florida, it was pretty big. I know it's big now, but it was pretty big down there then too, right?
Yes, it was. And what was going on in the very beginning for me, it was so big that you would see all these crowds, like looking in magazines and whatnot, and you would see like a sea of people. You know, mainly probably the out west races and stuff like that, and some of the Grand Nationals,
right?
And the World Championships. And I didn't know anything about all that during that time, you know, because we were, like I said, we just kept growing, getting better, and then we were like a force, like we were competing against people we had written letters to, you know.
Yeah,
we were basically like grassroots team, man. We had good people on the team that had all kind of experience, and the right coach. And like I said, we were family. We are family still.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What were some of the big names that you rode on that Eagle Snacks team with?
Ron Walker, Mike Holmes, Termite Hudson, Sean Riblett, Billy and these guys, they were either on the team all the way through, or you know how those, you know, when some person leaves or quit. Yeah, we would get the next best guy. You know, like if we couldn't get the number one guy, we would take as long as they were in the top 10. We had a force that we rallied with each other. We like I said, we were family. I keep bringing that up. We were family, and we did a lot of constructive criticism. Videotaping, reviewing the tapes, you know, seeing where our weaknesses were, and you know, it was like going to school. It was like a college course, and then like we just, you know, when it came time, we put it together. Gradually got better until we were the guys in the magazines, and and running against the GT and the Cyclocrafts and the whoever else.
Don't forget, y'all were the ones by then chasing off all the groupies and all that too, right?
Yeah, because we were just a regular team, man. Like, it was almost like a softball team. We put together a team, and then we just kept going, and made it into the big times.
Yeah, because I know there was a lot of big names come through the Eagle Snatch squad. You know, I think John Purse and Percy Owens ride for
John Purse. Percy Owens,
seems like Todd Lyons. Yeah,
Billy
all the people
Sean Texas.
I mean, all of y'all, man, just to come up and become legends like you did and everything. And, you know, and before we go to a break, too, I want to kind of touch on that, you know, and talk about some of your accomplishments, you know, through all those times. I mean, what kind of accomplishments did you get?
For the most part, throughout my career, I probably was at least in the top 20. There was one time, and it was near the end of my career, where I ended up, I think it was like National 21 or something like that, and I was riding for Dan's. So I think I had quit for a couple years, and then I came back. And
let me ask you this, because your biggest accomplishment was to become great like you did and be known as a pillar in the sport. So hats off to you on that right there. And with that said, though, at the same time, you know, how do I want to say this? Like you went through those things, you know, you on the team and everything. You saw the place you saw and all that, and like I said, just motivating people is inspiring right there in itself. It really is, you know. But we all have done BMX, you know. I done it too, and we tend to look down on things that we've done, and because we wanted to do better. And it was, for me personally, I guess what I'm getting to is, personally, I think I could have did a lot better if I had the money backing me, like many of the kids, the wealthier kids had.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and it wasn't
that
necessarily
right there
just the wealthier kids either. It was the actual kids that had a lot of talent. You know. That and those good sponsors like Marie McGilvery. She's gonna be on the show, you know, and she pretty much told me about how GT took care of them, you know. They took really good care of them and everything, and that was very helpful to have that, because I always worried about money to get to the races and all that stuff, you know. So, and that added to regular struggles. What did you go through as far as that stuff? In the beginning, I didn't get a chance to go to a lot of the races because, you know, my mom was a single mother taking care of two boys. So it was just limited on where I could go. And then once we did get the Eagle Snacks and Anheuser-Busch sponsorship, that was probably the best sponsorship, you know, that takes care of their riders and pretty much the riders' families too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
so what were they doing for you? I mean, I
got everything.
Pretty much pay for the whole ride.
They got everything.
Got everything free.
We got everything. If we didn't get it free, we got a super discounted. We were sponsored by Eagle Snacks. We merged with Profile. We merged with MCS, and both of those companies are great companies. Especially Profile, because they were local. I mean, the way I come home from work, I pass Profile every day. So it's nice to have a bicycle manufacturer right there and know pretty much know most of the workers by first name, you know, because you've been seeing them over the years, that kind of deal. So
that's right.
But
I choose having a reunion with my my BMX buds over class reunion anytime, you know.
True. You need to go to that cruise next year too. Moses Tillman.
What's it?
Yeah, he's reaching out to a lot of BMXers, and him and Craig Reynolds are trying to put together this BMX cruise, you know, for any and everybody. You know, it's just
that's fun. I talked to Craig Reynolds the other few days ago on text.
Did he
on
tell you
social
about
media.
it?
So hey, nah, we didn't even go into that. I was just letting them know about this show right here.
Oh man,
You know? I might need to talk to him about
maybe you can promote that, help promote it for us, and so we can get any and everybody there. Tommy Braxton is supposed to be there. I'm not sure who else, but
wow.
Moses Tillman just kept rambling off people that were going to be going to the, and he wanted me to help spread the word. So that's what I'm doing right now.
That's all. That's cool. That's cool. And for you listeners out there, you kids out there that haven't been studying your BMX history, Tommy Brackens, that's the human dragster.
Yeah.
He's a legend and another icon in the sport. And believe it or not, BJ, he lives here in the Atlanta area.
Nuh-uh.
He just moved over here.
He did?
Yes, he did.
You know, a lot of people are moving from California to the East Coast.
Hey, I guess so. Maybe it's the movie scene or whatever. I don't know what it is.
Well,
they're over here.
Atlanta's supposed to be the next Hollywood, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Chocolate City.
That's why. That's right. That's why I'm trying to do it big, yo.
That's right. You should be doing real good.
So that's right. So yeah, Tommy's up there in the area of Shan over there with Margie Hatfield and over in the Cobb area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. So we'll be hooking up soon.
True.
All of us will.
So,
but you know what? We're gonna. What were you gonna say before we take a break? What were you gonna say?
I never did get the BMX accomplishments out because I keep rambling on.
Okay. Well, let's put everybody on hold.
Okay.
And leave them in suspense for that. Then we're gonna leave them in suspense, and then we're gonna run those accomplishments down when we come back. And
if
we're
I can remember them all.
A little bit about what. Yeah, I'll jog that memory. See, that's a good thing about these interviews. You get to relive it.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? You get to relive it.
Yeah, you get to relive it.
Recap on it.
I didn't always get number one. And, some years I was number 2 or 8 or 7 or whatever. But I'm just going to talk on the main one.
That's the journey of it. That's right. And those are good too. Because, see, there's people out there listening right now, young people with dreams to be a legend like this, to be known. We all know as BMXers that we all had a dream of doing it for a living someday and all that, but only a handful of guys really accomplished that. They live on the West Coast for the most part. But the thing is, like me, myself, BMX is benefiting me now because of the name that I did make for myself. I'm able to have a platform and have a following, and that's why, and still be a part of BMX.
True.
So it's still, and BMX from back then is why we got BJ Gant right here on the show.
Yeah.
Just like that. Boom! I said that. Booyah. You know it, brother. Look, let's go ahead and take a break.
All right.
And then we're going to come right back with more Bernard BJ Gant on Hurricane Maine's BMX Legends Class 2.0. Keep it locked. I was always told that you get out of life what you put into life. So if you work overtime, then you'll get overtime pay. You see, I competed on a professional level in BMX bicycles, bicycle motocross. And this was my passion. This is what I got up in the morning and trained for. Worked out, studied videos, rode mile after mile. I really concentrated and focused on this sport because this is what I felt God had for me. Now I knew that I couldn't do it forever, but I was going to do the best at it while I was doing it. Training, knowing that I have an event coming up and knowing other guys are training, so I put all the hard work and effort in. And then, heartbreak. Go to the race and come home in defeat. Not doing nearly as good as I imagined or hoped to do. But I was always told by mentors throughout life and different things that I studied that we have to learn from our mistakes. Fell our way to the top and learn from every last drop. So sitting around crying and feeling defeat was not an option with me. Though I go through it for a second, but I bounce back and come back for a victory. And I was gonna persist until I got that victory. And even after I got victories in BMX, I have sometimes when I have defeat again. And I start to learn as I got older that, yes, this is how you fail your way to the top. And you learn from your mistakes and you get stronger and stronger. Now, I eventually accomplished winning a couple titles. And now I'm able to inspire kids to keep dreaming their dreams. And that's what I'm sharing with you. Keep dreaming your dreams. Never get discouraged, because you get out of life what you put into life. I'm Hurricane Maine, and I thank you. All right. We're back with more of Hurricane Maine's BMX Legends Class 2.0. And we got Bernard BJ Gant on the phone. You still there with me, brother?
I'm still here, man.
Okay. Look, in the break, I was talking to BJ. We got to talking about BMX and injuries, and I said something about concussions. Then we kind of got on the subject of concussions a little bit right there. So I wanted to kind of come in and chime in a little bit on that, Now, you were saying something about you didn't understand that even if you just hit your head, rattle yourself a little bit, that's also a concussion, right? That's what you're saying?
That is. I didn't know it back then, but I just thought, like, when you rung your head and you went out, I thought that was just a concussion. But pretty much anytime you get your bell rung, whether you pass out or not, that's something to watch for.
Yeah, and that's look at
Dave Mirra. Dave Mirra.
Oh, God, yeah.
How
many did he have
rest in
his
paradise.
lifetime? Rest in peace. How many concussions do you know that he had?
Probably too many to count. And every time he crashed, going for it, and freestyle and everything, and probably BMX too. I remember racing a little bit then too. Mm-hmm. He probably had a lot of it. Anytime you are dirt jumper, trail balls, ramping. Freestyle, that kind of thing, you're going to hit your head.
Yeah, that's true. Because
you're going to hit your head.
And the worst thing about it is, like, after you get that first one, it doesn't take much to get the rest of them. I mean, you just barely, because I've been at track myself and gotten a concussion, like my third or fourth, and I was like, oh, God, I think I got a concussion, because you start getting to where you don't know where you are. And you don't even know how you got there or why you're there.
Yep.
It's scary.
For a split second. Well, for me, it was like a split second. It probably happened twice that I was completely knocked out. And, it's weird because when I did it, I felt like my body was trembling or vibrating. You know how you stand against, like, not against, but like you go into some kind of big warehouse or something like that, and they got machinery and you can feel the ground tremble.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
That's every time I knocked myself out. That's what I experienced. Was that ground felt like the ground was shaking or vibrating or something like that.
You know what? The first time that I had a concussion wasn't even BMX related. I had an accident at work and bumped my head. And I can remember I just started wandering around the factory. I worked at a factory back then, and I was thinking, and nobody was paying any attention to me. And so I was thinking, oh, God, am I dead? Is it? Yeah, because nobody's paying attention, dude. And I walked through this whole entire plant, and people are everywhere. So I go in the bathroom, and nobody's paying attention to me. So I'm like, oh, God, I'm dead. And so I go to the break room. I said, well, I know if I'm dead, if this phone call doesn't go through.
Yeah.
So I called my mom. I called my mom, and thank God she answered the phone. I was like, yo, God.
I just bumped my head, Ma.
Yeah.
Hey, when you rung your bell, did you see like a flash of light, and then it was
a couple
black?
Times. couple times, but most of the times I felt like I was gonna just throw up really bad, like dry heave. I just felt like I was gonna vomit.
Little spins, the room spins a little bit.
Yeah,
my first.
Just terrible.
You making me remember a lot of stuff here. My first concussion wasn't on a BMX track either. I actually got backhanded by my grandfather on my dad's side, and that was the first time ever that I had my head hit or hit my head. But and it was a double whammy too. Like he backhanded me and hit me, and then I hit the wall too. So it was like bam, you know.
Oh wow!
And it was pretty major. I believe I ended up going to the hospital for that one. Too. Yeah.
So and that's a scary feeling because it's really, to me, I describe it as like a blank spot in your life. Because
exactly.
for several months, it's coming back to you what happened. You know, because in BMX, for me, the best thing that could happen to me whenever I crashed or anything was I knew what I did wrong. So if I knew I did wrong
and I lay there, because I would be hurting. Man,
I remember
get the wind knocked out of you.
Yeah, I've had races, man, when I get up and I'm walking around and I'm strolling around the parking lot on my bike, thinking, okay, I think I have kids. I think I'm still married. No, maybe I'm divorced. I'm not sure. I don't know where to go home to. So,
you know what? That's funny. You should bring that up. I was very fortunate to do a lot of NBL races, and we branched out to the ABA. But there was one time, quite a few times in my life, where we were traveling so much, and you wake up and not know where you're at.
Oh, I remember that feeling. I forgot about that.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because
where am I? And then you start to look around, and you see teammates in the other bed or on the floor, and then slow, and then it still doesn't register like where you at. Like, you know what you. Pretty much like if I had too much to drink right now, it'd be like that.
Right. Because I rode for Cavachi Wheels for like 7 years. And that's all we did. Yeah. I wrote Factor with John,
nice. Good old Restless Soul, yeah. Good man.
But love John. But we travel, and I'd ask every weekend. I'd be like, okay, what state is this now? You're asking. It's something, but it's so awesome that we experience those things and got out, and we were just fooling ourselves thinking we are going to become big ballers and everything from it.
I tried.
I did too, man. I tried everything. I even came out with my own number plates. I designed my own number plates. Yeah.
Did you?
And they were so crude, man. They were so.
You know what I did?
What'd you do?
You know what I did that was kind of tacky? Was when I was riding for Cyclecraft, and I was trying. It was like I don't remember exactly what happened, but I thought I was going to get the #1 title for that year. So I went and got my helmet all painted, with the fat #1 on it and the Gant on the back. It was all in the Cyclecraft colors.
I remember that helmet. I was bold.
Yep.
Okay.
It was Echo.
Okay.
Mom and Pa Echo hooked that up, and I didn't win. I didn't get. I won the race.
Yeah.
I won the race. I won the main. But I fell in one of my motos, and it was like me, Darren Waterbury, Tony Sanaka. I forget who else, but I didn't get it. He got the #1 title. That was for Superclass too. Back then.
Oh yeah, I remember you were hanging in there tough in there. And Superclass was tough back then. I was one of those guys just making sure the rear of the pack was safe. So a lot of times I was just, hey, make sure those guys are safe to race up there.
Hey, sometimes I was back there too. I mean, think about them qualifiers. You fudge the gate, and then you got to get top 4. You got to go, and it's a long way to go. And thank God I had some horsepower back then on some of the straightaways, and I was fortunate enough to be able to catch up and either squeeze in or do a photo finish or something like that to get in there. There was been a whole bunch of close ones like that, man, from hitting the gate.
You know what? That's and that's like the evolution of your journey in BMX somewhat, all the way from starting out as that little kid that looked at the magazines and then evolving into that kid that got with some more kids, because the law of attraction is real. So if that was in you to ride the bikes and everything, you attracted those type people to you. And then you were able to do that. Then one thing leads to another. Then you're riding for Eagle Snacks. Next thing you know, you got the helmet on Cyclecraft with Gant plaster across the back. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that stand out to us, not necessarily how the results of the actual race ends up. Because I mean, like myself, I had some wins and things, a couple state titles and stuff like that, a national 12
I never had
before,
one of those, man.
Yeah,
I never had a state number one. Yeah, man. Florida was tough.
That'd be like winning the worlds, man.
You know what? I had in my group, or excuse me, in my state, like every track that I would go to in Florida was like a national. Like if I just went there to check it out, or just whatever. Yeah. It was like a Friday night race, and it's like a regular big main type thing, running and.
Now, you know what? And every single year, the Kavachi Wheels team, we travel down there like 10 times a year doing the whole season, the whole series. And John started, I'm not sure if you were still out there or not, but John had started sponsoring a lot of those events down there.
Yes.
Co-sponsoring.
Yes.
So we got heavily involved. People thought I was Hurricane because I was from Florida, but I'm from Georgia. Hurricanes come here. They come here. So that's so awesome. That you got out there and on that Florida scene. That's all you guys. We had much respect for y'all anyway, because we knew we Florida, came down there. We had to be on the A game. Yeah.
Florida had a lot of good talent. And a large capacity of really good riders. I mean, starting from the little guys, Donnie Dunstall, Shelby James. Man, there's a whole bunch of names I can't even remember right now. But we especially what we used to do, we used to go up to Orlando like on Saturday nights or something like that, and they would have a pro-am over there. So it was crazy. It was
sick too.
Yes.
Oh God! If I could have grew up there, man.
Man, you racing against Adam Bomb, rest in soul. Let's see, Todd Corbett, Big E, Greg Lanthorn, Raymond Rogers, Termite, Ron, Mike. It would just get crazy stupid, man.
You know what? And that's what's so awesome. What I like about like people like TC and Big E. Those guys, they went out to California later on, but they came back and they pulled a lot of people from Florida up into the factory thing. With GT and different things like that.
I was one of them. TC and Big E and Brian Fell. I think they were the ones that made a decision when I started to come back after the neck injury. I just came back as their marketing guy. So that was like one of the best jobs ever, because you got paid to do BMX. Like they paid for everything.
Yeah, GT see what I'm saying?
Paid for room, gas, food, and I wasn't even racing. But if I wanted to race, they paid for that too. Yeah. I was very, very fortunate, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, and I forgot that you rode for GT. But
I didn't ride for them. It was just a job, but I just kind of didn't say anything to people, so I let people think that I was riding for GT, but it was a job.
Cat's out of the bag. 40
years later. It was a job for the year of '97.
I heard that. That was a great job to have.
It was a great job, and you know what?
That's what.
I've been on a pretty much every team I've been on has been good. I used to ride for CC Racing, Coca-Cola, Bikes and More back then with what's his name? Phil. You know Phil from up north, right? Black Phil.
Oh, Chill Phil Downell, my brother.
Yeah, Donnell. Yeah, Phil Donnell. Yep.
Chill Phil. Yeah.
Yep. He made it possible for me to get on that team, and man, it's just great, crazy, and I was very fortunate to kind of just bounce around the different teams and the families and friends and stuff like that. That's with good. BMX. That's good. And we keep in touch too. All of us keep in touch through Facebook, or we are still in touch. Like John and Percy just pulled me out, and they were like, "Hey, we need you. We need you to get your license and get going with that, because we got some things to do down here in Sarasota." So.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. That's why we're getting close to the end of the show, but that's what I wanted to kind of go into. Because and if you have any more accomplishments you want to run down too, you can too.
Well,
but I mainly wanted to see. Yeah, let me know what are some of those accomplishments you got.
See,
I probably down. Then I'm gonna just ask you about what you're up to with Percy and Owens.
True. I've been national number 1 and 2 because I raced cruiser and 20-inch back then. So one of my highest accomplishments was getting first and second nationally. And then in Orlando, I got first and second too.
Wow!
And then if I went to a world championship race and I was competing, I think I missed one, and that was when I was down in Australia. Oh, that was a good highlight. I just remember. You remember the Terrible 10? From back in the day?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I can just about name them all. You was on there?
No, but I had to race some fools down in Australia. And,
man,
we're talking like
Todd Corbett,
Ron, Eric Carter, King, Brian Lowe, Rick Palmer,
Veltman,
Kenny May. And I just turned 18 before the world. So I was just like, damn. I got it really hard. But then I was like, you know what? I'm coming here for a reason. So I got in some dogfights.
Is that how you motivated yourself?
Well,
yes. I mean, what did it take to motivate you to even compete on that level?
Back when I first came out, if there was this motor speedway track, that was inside the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I remember this was probably like one of my first come outs. And I had to race Todd Lyons. He rode for Whitman's. Jason Theodore, Joe Spurrier. Man, it was so many other, Craig Reynolds. And I don't know what happened, but I was real nervous. Because I didn't expect that many good people to be at this particular race. And
right.
My coach used to come around and, he was a good morale booster. I don't know if he did motivational speaking back then or not for work, but he got me one day, man. Check this out. I was up on the gate or getting ready to go to the gate, and he comes and puts his hand on me and patting my back. He's like, B, how you feeling? I said, well, I'm a little nervous. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, look at all these dudes with the fancy bikes and the big sponsors and stuff like that. And he's like, well, hold up. Look, you wearing a uniform. Might not look as nice as theirs, but you got a uniform on. You got your races paid for. You got your hotel paid for. And at this time, we had just struck a deal with Profile. They hooked us up with bikes. So we had Profile frame and fork, handlebars, cranks and stuff like that, Kabachi wheels and stuff. Yeah, and he was like, just go out there and do it. They're the same as you. They're human. They're not robots.
That's right.
And it was like, you know what, man? This is what I told him. I said, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna go out here and do it. And that tore me up out of the gate. I don't know how I pulled it off, but I remember coming out of that first turn, I was riding out. And I had all the factory dudes behind me. And they have a picture of me. I'll have to send that to you.
Okay. Yeah.
and that was I was national 11 at that time, so I had 2 1s. And what I was trying to do, because I kept doing this tally thing all throughout the year, I was like, oh, maybe I can get number 1 20-inch, maybe I can get number 1 24-inch. And that was my motivation for that time, during that time.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
And so the race that I went over to Australia with, it was kind of a big deal because I had to race against the Terrible 10 that were there. And you know those guys.
Wow.
You know, and I was the baby of the group.
Man.
But guess what happened?
Oh, man.
Guess what happened? I was the only American rider in the main.
Oh, really?
So I had those guys on the sidelines rooting for me. TC, Eric Carter, Dave Cullinan, my teammates that I had to race against. So that made me feel good.
Oh, my God.
And I got so pumped up because I had already raced a lot of those people. Because I think back then we had like 8, in 30 seconds at those, that's how big our races were back then with our class. And I made it through, man. I won a bunch of races, transferring seconds, thirds, and fourths. And lo and behold, I was the only American that made the main that particular year. And I did it with 21 stitches in my leg, too. I didn't tell you that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
In my semi-main and cruiser, you remember those sea urchin pedal cages?
Oh, yeah.
You remember how sharp they are?
Worse than that. Bad like those hutch pedals, like those hutches and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh.
Well, I was trying to
catch it in the shin.
Say again.
Where did it get you, in the shin?
No, man, just above my ankle. I had 21. What happened was I was like in the transfer spot, or trying to get the transfer spot, and it was a photo finish, but I slipped my pedal and it sliced me right on up, right? So I'm inside this like the velodrome, because this BMX track was inside one of those big cycling courses, the velodrome there. And I went and we would just kind of roll to the top, get some air, chill out for a little bit, and then go on back to our team pit area. Well, I thought I just had a scratch, because when I looked at my pant leg, you see the where the pedal went through it. But then when I lifted up the pant leg and pulled down the sock, man, it was filleted open. It was like a horror movie. I looked at and I got a little dizzy, and I rode down to, and that's when it started to really hurt. Once I saw it, psychologically, it was like, I'm dying.
Yeah, that's how it works.
When rolling, limping down to the pit area, and I guess I had so much adrenaline going, from being at that type of race. It really didn't bother me until I looked at it, and then something just happened from there.
I've had plenty of those.
And my coach comes up, he's like, man, you can pull out if you want. And I'm like, man, I ain't coming all the way down here to pull out. I'm going to race this race. We got the stitches in there, wrapped it up, and the best I can muster out after hitting the gate from all my Terrible 10 teammates, I guess you could say, root me on. I was feeling good, man. I was on cloud 9, because these are all my heroes.
Wow.
And here I am racing them, and then I got up there and they're rooting me on. And I got a 4th.
See, that's what's awesome.
Yeah.
See, you got a 4th?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's good, but I won it and should have had first. There's so many races where I should have won and didn't win.
Right.
But something happened.
Right. If I get this time machine perfected that I'm working on,
you trying to go back?
We're going back, man. Well, we're gonna do this thing again.
I wish I could go back and remix life like that, because I would just tweak it a little bit. I could tweak it a little bit, and I guess I don't know. Like, for instance, not too many people know about this, but Eagle Snacks, we were a force, right? So what happens is when your team is so good that your competitive teams will try to undercut you and take riders from your team.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Robinson GT. I was on Eagle Snacks. I remember the race. Greg Hill had approached me, just to see if I was happy and stuff like that. And I pretty much was. But I had an opportunity to ride for Robinson, and I stayed loyal to the team Eagle Snacks. I think anybody else would have taken it, but would I have loved to ride for them back then? Heck yeah, because I think my career would have been probably a little bit longer and maybe taken a different direction than it did.
Yeah.
But just to get an offer, and I already had a lucrative, not even a deal, but everything was going good, because like I said, Eagle Snatch, we were family. We are family.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to I didn't want to leave.
Yeah, you're loyal, and that's what makes you such a great legend of the sport too.
Yeah.
Just anytime I saw you at the races, though, you always have a smile on your face, because you were happy in what you were doing.
Man, I was happy with what I was doing. I was living. I had made my dreams come true from that little boy that was rolling inside the store or the 7-Eleven, picking out the magazines. Daydreaming about, I wonder what that track is like. Is that hard? That looks tough.
Yeah.
Who's this rider? How will I stand up against him? And man, it was weird because I ended up, not giving up. I kept going and kept going, and
that's right.
Next thing I knew, I was getting some mentionings to magazines. But man, it's just crazy. I just kept going.
That's where I first read about you at, in the BMX Actions, BMX Plus. And like the NBL magazine, what's that? BMX Today.
Pull magazine. That's what they call it today.
Pull.
I think that's cool.
They do.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody correct us. I didn't even
know people read magazines.
Anybody?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, we're old school people.
Yeah, you can tell my memory's going too.
I didn't even know they still had magazines. Yeah, that's right. What is this, 1985 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
But look, brother, I know you're coming back to BMX. You did it for a long time and everything. So I hear that you're making a little comeback to the sport.
Well,
and you're doing what are you doing? Some training, some kids, helping Percy Owens and John Purse too, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that stuff.
Well, prior to that situation, about 3 years ago, I picked up riding again because you know how it is. Sometimes BMX will fade in, life takes you in different directions.
Yeah.
So
that's
for me, every time I ride my bike, every time I do BMX, whether it's trail ball stuff, or in my case, trying to be a trail boss. Just any kind of riding on a BMX bike, my life kind of gets like in perfect alignment, or it's pretty close to it. So this little comeback should have happened 3 years ago. And I don't know if you know this cat, Brian Johnson.
No, I'm not sure if I know him.
Yes, Brian is from St. Louis, Missouri, I believe.
Okay.
And he has a BMX company called Majesty Racing. And he's one of the Midwest brothers that I didn't really know, but you know him by face when you see him, because it was, back then it wasn't a lot of us out there. And sometimes we was racing against each other, so you kind of have that racing face or something like that. And I think that's probably what it was with myself and Brian, or just that I'm just getting old. I can't remember a lot of things.
yeah, either way.
So we've been talking and coming up with ideas and stuff like that about me doing a little comeback thing, and it should have happened. Like I say, about 3 years ago, but I ended up moving up to Ohio, and now I know what it's like to have a real winter. And those guys, they can't ride all year round like we do in Florida.
Right.
And
that's right.
And then I got sidetracked while I was up there. We'll just keep it at that. Got sidetracked up there. And then that's when the health problem started. So that's when I came on back home so I can get healthy, get my head right, be by my friends and family.
Right.
And it's like as soon as I set foot in the state, just things started lining up, you know.
I bet. You know, and then, so I guess you're going to, have you started back racing yet, or are you going to make your debut in 2020?
Probably in 2020, because on the track that I'm on right now, the Sarasota BMX Academy, there is a state race and a national that's going to be coming there soon. So I might make that the debut race because it's in my backyard. And that'd be.
I might have to come out. There and race against you.
Come on.
I think we'll be in the same class.
I'll put it to you. I will put it to you. I'll try to put it to you.
Yeah.
You better start.
A bunch of old men out there doing it again.
When I went to the track, because first he was like, "B, come on out here, just take it easy, and just because when I went up there, I'm looking at this big ass starting hill, and then I see the pro section at about 10 feet higher. And I'm like, hell no, I am not getting on this track. And you know how it is when you don't ride the bike for a while, you come back and you feel like a giant on a tricycle, like Grape 8 on the tricycle.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's right.
Man, I saw these jumps.
I do that from time to time.
And they're rounded, but I was like, oh, I got this. Let me tell you something, man. I got winded pushing my bike up the hill, the little ramp, the incline. And this track,
I mean, God.
It has 38 humps. So imagine doing 38 squats, chair squats. That's what this track is like right down there. Because
wow. And so that's that and then it has the Olympic start.
Yep, exactly. And then, let me tell you.
See, I got to get used to that.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad enough me walking up the hill and not being able to hold my breath and everything, and then getting on the track and having your legs freeze up because you're hitting all those humps and stuff like that. You're pushing and pumping, pushing and pumping, pushing and pumping. Man, let me tell you, it's something else.
Good gracious, man, that's awesome though. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to get used to those big Olympic starting hills.
Hey,
and I mean, that's got to be different.
It's very different, especially if you're looking at that pro section side. Because I looked at that and I was like, I think I can get it. But then when I got up on that hill, just walking up there, I'm like, hell no, I ain't doing that. Maybe when I was 16. Yeah, I ain't doing that now.
When I see those big crazy jumps, I'll go to the track from time to time now, but when I see those big crazy jumps, I'm like, wait, I ain't got nothing to prove.
Exactly.
Talk myself right out of it.
And back when I was telling you about the, I was riding 3 years ago, pretty good. I was in great shape. I was actually thinner. Okay. I was on my way to maybe not having a 6-pack, but maybe a 24-pack. No, I'm just kidding. But I was in way better health.
Maybe I had a 2-pack.
Way better health. Yeah, because I was going to Sarasota. I was going to Tampa. And it was funny because, like I said, it's still not that many brothers and sisters out there doing it, right? So when I get there, they're thinking that I was Percy. And I'm like, no, I'm a little bit fatter than Percy. And so I would just, do my own thing. I was talkative, but not really. And and so all these amateurs, or actually pros, these guys were like in diapers basically when I
the new age,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the new guys. Yeah.
But these guys they were like very competitive, and so I just kind of hop on the gate and be like, okay, they got me that one time. I'm gonna try to get them this time. And I was on a good comeback then.
Yeah, right.
And this comeback right now is way different from the last comeback. And actually, I never even made it to a track. Right. At that time, and if I would have made it to a track, it probably would have been some good things, good results.
Right.
Back then. So now, each time you take that break, it's like starting over.
Yeah, because I always give myself time in the beginning to remember the small techniques, like when to pull my front wheel up, and because I understand that my timing is going to be off, So the frames, like I got a DK right now, like a new DK, and the frame designs, they're just different now. So it's changed the riding styles, if you ask me, than from back in the day. You know, the geometry's gotten more lower and more,
and everything is super teched out.
Yeah, super tech.
They got it down to a science.
That's right.
They got it down to they got fancy wheels, they got fancy cranks.
Yeah.
These carbon fiber bikes.
That's right.
It's just gone out of this world now, as far as like all the different technology in BMX now. Yeah. And I still don't know it all.
Yeah. And it's great though to still be a part of it and try to get out there riding and everything. And like I said, I'm glad that you're getting back out there so I can see some of the old faces, and it just, I won't be racing.
I'm happy to be out there too.
Yeah, because I raced like 2 years ago, and I was just smiling and cheesing around the whole track. I could not. I was ecstatic. Just me doing it. I didn't care what place I got. Yep. But I was out there killing it. I was running with those young bucks now. But they're looking at me. I got gray hair and everything now. So that thing,
me
too. So they don't expect that. But see, like you say, you go out there with those young people. A lot of times I'll try to slip out to the track myself, where not many people are around.
By yourself, where nobody's out there.
Yeah, just so you can think and kind of remind yourself of what you're doing, what to do, But,
for me, it would be like, getting out there and tagging a jump and crashing, and nobody saw it.
That's right. No, where's the life flight?
Yeah, exactly.
We might have.
And let me tell you something, man.
Get medical alert bracelets.
Have you? When's the last time you rode?
Oh God, you put me on the spot. Wait now. Before I answer that, listeners, this show is pre-recorded. So by the time this show airs, I'm gonna have like 6 weeks in. But dude, I haven't.
All I must say,
I wrote one time in 2019.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, all I'm gonna say is you better start doing your upright row exercises and get some weights on it, because a lot of these jumps, you if you don't use it, you lose it.
Wow.
When I went to pull up for some of these jumps, I was tagging every one of them.
Really?
Tagging. You know how that's scary for me, considering I broke my neck.
Heck yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if I'm tagging that front tire, you know what's going to happen.
Right.
If I do something wrong, I'm going over the bars again. And I ain't trying to do that.
Huckabuck City.
Just be careful.
Huckabuck.
Be careful, man, when you go out there trying to pull up for them jumps, because we weak. I'm weak.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I said weak. That's why I just take it slow and just, I've never stopped working out, I'll be honest, because I've been planning a comeback now for like 7 years. So right. And then I'll go, the track's like 12 minutes from my house. And I never go there. But,
you're lucky.
But I don't go. The last time I went, I was doing some awesome stuff in the rhythm section and crashed and scratched I got hurricane on my back on my jerseys. So when I crashed, I ripped the U out of hurricane. So it was a hurricane.
Oh, hurricane.
Yeah, hurricane. Yeah, so I got some scratches on my back and stuff. But it was cool though, just to know that I still had it. Because that's me. I'll say, I wonder if I can still do that. Because, I still work out.
Man, it's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of guys that are older that are still doing BMX. Yeah. Like, look at Woody Itzum.
Oh, yeah.
I think he just had some kind of, 60th birthday or something. Oh. I hope I didn't get his age wrong. Right. But he's out there freestyling, clowning.
Man, that's what I'm saying.
Then you look at, Todd Lyons. He still kills it.
See?
But the guy that I've been most impressed with is Rich Bartlett. Have you seen the pictures that he's been posting? Oh, Jesus.
He's out there racing?
That dude, he's not racing, but he's got trails at his house or something like that.
Really?
Dude is busting out flatties.
Oh.
Clean flatties.
What?
and look and a little bit of everything. He hasn't skipped a beat.
Wow, man.
And he's got his daughter out there riding with him.
And see, that's awesome, man. That's I work.
That is awesome.
Like if I ride trails again, I know I'm gonna have to put my flats on. And I'm like, Marie McGilvery, she was on here talking about how hard it was to transition from clips to flats. See, because that's what I ride clips everywhere. You know, but
not me.
You don't. Yeah.
I'm saying BMX is made for flat.
Yeah, that's
because you can use your leg to block. You know, keep your balance. You know, you might have to get. You know, what if you start doing a dead sailor? How you gonna cook out the middle of the air?
Just gone.
Be like, he gone.
That's it.
He gone. He rung his bell.
Yeah,
he rung his bell.
That's right. That's right. And I got
another concussion.
I raced through the 2000s and everything, got so used to clips and everything that it just makes me feel like I'm one with the bicycle. So what gets scary scary thing is I never crash. And I'm going hella fast and I'm like, oh God. And so I have dreams that I'm having these horrific crashes. You know, like nightmares and things. Well, yeah, and I'm like, oh God.
Oh, that ain't good.
Yeah, it's scary.
That ain't good.
But then when I'm on the track, you know.
Only time I clip. I was gonna say, only time I clip in is when I'm doing mountain bike and you know there's no mountains in Florida.
Right.
So it's but it's still dangerous though because I'm riding over roots.
Yeah.
And stuff it's like. I don't know. It feels like a typewriter.
You gotta worry about
and then you lose your balance, man.
Alligators.
There's a place out there where we ride at, Alafia River State Park, and there's this. I don't know what level it is that I'm riding. I just ride it.
Right.
And if you don't stay on the track, you drop off an embankment into this like moat, and there's a gator in there. I've seen it.
Oh God. Oh,
yeah,
man.
It's scary.
That's sketchy right there, man.
Yeah, and then there's bobcats out there too, man.
Bobcats too?
Wild boar and yeah, bobcats, wild boar. You know, there's all kinds of snakes.
It's like you living in the jungle then.
And that's tropical.
Yeah.
Tropical Florida for you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Tropical Florida.
But look here, brother.
But
it's great having you on the show and everything. We're getting close to the end, so I want to let you know that. And just if you had something you want to wrap it up with or give any shout-outs, you're going to run that down for the listeners.
It's going to be, I probably owe everything to Mark Fowler and the Eagle Snatch BMX team, all the riders and all the families and stuff like that. And, like I said, we still family.
Right.
John Purse and Percy Owens just got me back started with helping them out with Sarasota BMX Academy, and that's where we take riders of all levels, from beginners that don't even know how to ride a bike, all the way to the guys that are probably nationally ranked. And we tweak them. We're just giving back to the sport.
So y'all
doing what
pretty much doing some
over the years.
Doing some developing some younger riders and everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The young riders all the way up to the oldest riders.
That is awesome. So how does somebody get in contact with you guys to become a part of that?
Check us out on Facebook, Sarasota BMX Academy. I believe there's a website. SarasotaBMXAcademy.com, or just get in touch with myself, Percy Owens, and or John Purse.
All right, and those
like I said, it's all good, man. It's just like old times, which is crazy.
Yeah, y'all some legends.
Like I said, we family.
Yeah, that's right.
We family.
And to learn from you guys,
family.
That's right. That's what it's all about. And I hope to get Purse and Owens on the show soon. Both of them are friends of mine, and both of them know of me. So Holler at him for your brother, you know.
I will.
And
I will.
What I'm gonna do for you guys though is if you get any kind of flyers or any type promotional links or something you can share with me, I want to share that on my Hurricane Maine page, my Give Life a Chance pages, all our hishopradio platforms, and let people know what you guys are doing. Just keep us posted on things. Send us cool photos or whatever, because I want to keep this whole BMX Legends show going. You know, and it's so because it's awesome, and it's a platform that I want to offer you guys to kind of do some promoting, come on here, interviews, whatever. Keep people posted on your progress and on your comeback, you know?
And you got a long list of legends to get caught up with, man.
I know. We need
We
need to just we'll blow the Hall of Fame up if we just get all those Florida riders that are worthy of it in there. You know, because I'm serious. Because I mean, everybody came from Florida. It seems like they might have went out to Cali or something. You know, but it's some heavy hitters from out there. Then up north too. You know, pole count from up there.
Well, that's the main guys that are actually in the Hall of Fame are predominantly.
I know.
The California folks. You know, they came up with it. They hold it. But I really wish they would branch out, because there's some East Coast riders that did the damn thing, and
we're trying to get Marie McGilvery nominated. You know, some friends and everything. Yeah, that's right.
She deserves to be in there.
You people that are in charge of that, if you're listening, follow this show so you can hear the stories and see why these athletes deserve to be in the BMX Hall of Fame. All right. All right, brother. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and close this thing out, my brother. And I appreciate you. I really do. I'm truly grateful. Yeah, man.
I appreciate you, man.
Man. It's taking me back, man. Make me feel like getting out there now and spinning these legs, you know. You know, that's right. I will.
You should.
I will, man.
Get out there and go for fun, man.
Yeah,
it's it's a health thing now.
Representing his hot radio and Give Life a Chance and try to get things rolling on that side of things. So I'm gonna be in contact with you guys. Make sure.
All right, man.
You just tell all your friends. Yeah, send that stuff.
I'll send all that
make sure
stuff
you tell your
too.
friends to download the His Hot Radio app. Well, all right. Let me close this out. You stay on the phone right quick. Let me go ahead and close this episode of Hurricane Maine's BMX Legends Class 2.0 out with our special guest, Bernard B.J. Gant. Follow this man right here. Look at the great things he's doing down in Sarasota BMX Academy with Percy Spider-Man Owens and John the Jackal Purse down there. So, until next Saturday, we'll be back and locked inside of your device with another all-new episode of Hurricane Maine's BMX Legends Class 2.0. Thank you and God bless. All right, brother. All right.
Word.